Guys, are we live? Someone give me a signal. Tell me we're live. Tell me we're live. Guys, are we live? Someone give me a sign. Someone give me a sign. I think we're live. I think we're live. Yes, you are live. Excellent. Guys, welcome to episode 7 of 2 Pints with Rory. Today we have a very special guest, a friend of mine, Nima Yamini. I've known Nima for a while from Twitter. Nima, say hello.
Hey, man, Rory, thank you for having me, brother. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
It's my pleasure, bro. It's my pleasure.
Love the content, man. Yeah, man, you're having a pint over there. My mom's been to Ireland, man. She told me it was one of the favorite countries she ever visited, you know? She loved it a lot, man.
Bro, you know, Ireland's full of characters, you know. I don't know if you ever get the chance to go to Dublin, go to Dublin. Dublin's fun. I've got a lot of family there, but obviously I grew up in Luton, which is a completely different contrast to Dublin. Yeah. So, yeah.
Oh, so where are you now?
I'm in Dubai. I'm currently in Dubai. Yeah, which is nice. Bro, it rained today for the first time since I've been here. Yeah, so it was it was different today. It was cloudy, but I'm sure it'll be sunny again tomorrow. I'm sure it'll be sunny again. So, how's things with you, Nima?
Good, man. Good. Thank you for having me, man. We got a lot of fun things to talk about today, it seems like, huh?
Oh, dear. So, what we're going to talk about first, Nima, I think we should talk about upbringings, modern upbringings in contrast to upbringings back in the day, 30 years ago or so, when obviously I was a kid and I grew up. Because I feel it's a completely different contrast these days.
Yeah, man. You know, it's interesting. When I was, in the 80s, and I was born in, I'm 43. So for me, the idea of growing up and having a family was the norm. Now the norm has become, basically, being a pedophile homosexual, right? Like it's actually become the norm. I say this when I go to London because I have a home in Germany, Dusseldorf. My wife's German. And when I go to London, I noticed that one of the first ads you see at the airport is a homosexual couple. And, I feel like it's just become the norm, right? It's just become the norm.
What do you think the reasons are for that, though, Nima? What do you think the reasons are for that transition from being a normal, traditional sort of man to, being raised to become this sort of monster? What do you think caused all this?
I keep trying to rack my brain around it, but a gay man told me something once that really stuck with me. And he said that, and he's gay. He's a gay Trump supporter. And he used to be a Bernie supporter, then he became a Trump supporter. And his theory was the only one that I thought made the most sense to me of why this is happening. And he said to me that the reason why we're confusing and making it subjective what it means to be a human by definition. What is a human by definition? What is a male by definition? We're creating new genders. Is the idea that the elite are preparing society to add robots, add artificial intelligence, human robots, and that can also be a human. Think about it. If a transvestite can be any gender, what's to say a robot can't be a human? And they don't also get rights, and it's a way to dominate the masses by a tiny group of elites. I haven't thought it out completely, but to me, it seemed like, okay, I can sort of understand that being the preparation, like a chess game, like that's like or a boxing match. That's just like the jab before the other ones come.
But it's crazy, right? It's crazy, right? Because obviously, when I was growing up, you were either gay or straight. There was no identifying as a cat or identifying as a different animal, or you were either gay or straight, and that was it. There was no LGBTQ or STUV or whatever the fuck they call it now. It was just you were gay or straight. That was it. So now there's so many different sorts of this: bisexual, asexual, transsexual. They've wrapped it all into one flag almost. Like, do you think there's a narrative there?
Yeah, I think it's like the only way I could explain it, man, is that it's preparing humans to define, because now we've really gone so far off the reservation that I just today, for example, saw a woman, an attractive woman. Objectively speaking, I thought she was an attractive woman, but she was actually a queer. She was a trans, and she looked so much like a woman. And I was like, shit. I thought, it was a fucking woman. I thought it was a pair of pussy. But it wasn't. So I just. But guess what? She got caught. He got caught in a bathroom with 15-year-old girls, and I got a daughter, man. And that to me is probably the most, the part that concerns me is when I put my dad hat on.
Of course.
You and I just talking is one thing, talk about women. When I put my dad hat on, I think, every man that has a daughter understands how precious and sweet that treasure is in one's life. And the idea of another man coming and just, getting their way with an innocent little girl, it's horrifying,
But this is the thing. Where do you identify as to who genuinely thinks there's a woman and who's just a straight up fucking pervert? Like, where do you find the balance? There's no balance. So any man can now identify as a woman and go and use women's bathrooms, right? Which is dangerous. It's fucking dangerous. And like you said, you put your dad hat on. Like I for one, if I seen a man walking into a toilet that my daughter was using, I'd be the first to stop it instantly. I wouldn't care about what he identified as. I'd identify as an angry fucking dad. So,
I mean, think about it. Let's take even another angle at this. We have men who do masculine comedy that try to bring masculine comedy into entertainment. For example, I had a show on November 17 in New York City at a very well-known place called City Winery.
That's my birthday, bro. That's my birthday.
Oh, okay. How old you turn, man?
No. My birthday's November 17th. I don't really want to disclose my age because I'm still at 21, but I'm actually turning 34. So.
Oh, okay. You look young, man. You're aging well, man. Aging well.
Trying, bro.
Yeah, man. So, my show got canceled, and this is with literally a powerhouse talent agency in Los Angeles representing me. My agent told me, he said, the City Winery is canceling your show because there is a fear of backlash. There was a fear of backlash, and the person, I assume, I don't know, I can't prove it, was LGBTQ. So what's my point? My point is that we're promoting feminine, gay, tranny comedy like Matt Rife. Like, let's just look at Matt Rife for a second. Look at what happened, for example, last year in the summer. Okay, last year in the summer, over a year ago, I got banned with about 800,000 followers on TikTok. Tate got banned, much bigger creator than me. He got banned completely, right? Sneeko got banned completely, okay? Then anyone that made a video even defending a family man like Tate was banned for hate speech, okay? Now think about it like this. The videos are gone. Now, the only videos that can exist are committing slander, defamation of character, and he has no opportunity to even defend himself. It's a jury with just defense or a prosecutor. There's no defense. So, yeah. But it gets better. That wasn't enough for them at TikTok. That wasn't enough. So what did they do next? They brought in a comedian named Matt Rife, and they put him all over FYP. He can get 20 million, 30 million, 40 million views consistently. I've never seen anything like it before. They've made him a huge superstar. Objectively speaking, he looks like a transvestite. Objectively speaking, he's a gay, feminine man. He looks like a woman. And now they're pushing that to indoctrinate our young men. So masculinity clearly puts fear. I'm a Middle Eastern guy. So for me, my dad would have got canceled just for talking. You know what I mean? So like it's all normal to me at 43, my generation, what you guys are doing. So it's they're killing masculinity. There's a war on masculinity. There's a war on faith.
See, for me, it's confusing because I think it must start at home. So I have a son, and obviously I've brought him up to believe he's going to be a strong man. He's going to provide. He's going to, if anyone touches him, if anyone hits him, he hits about 10 times harder. I've brought him up with them traditional values of what I was brought up with in my home. So how do you think that social media is to blame for indoctrinating all these young kids? Like, do you think it's a lack of fathers in the home? Do you think it's more that, they're being encouraged to be LGBTQ? What's your take on it in that sense? Because to me, it's crazy, because I think everyone, I just assume that all dads are like me and are telling their kids to be men, or is it not the case?
It's interesting. I heard Patrick David say something like 1% in China are fatherless kids, right? And then he said, then he showed the United States as like 23% are fatherless, these kids growing up. And I tell my wife this always, like the role of us as fathers, being in that kid's life, being in his ear, some of us travel, I travel for work, but at least making a phone call, doing a video call, touching base, being in that kid's life, it really is the most important. It really is. Like I can't imagine one influence stronger than the father in a kid's life. Like if the father's absent, I mean, what are we doing here? It's who's there to teach him how to be a man?
But it's becoming more and more common for these kids to have fatherless homes, right? Like, I don't know about you, but where I'm from, it's certainly more common now for for people to be having kids and living in single parent homes. Like, so do you think it's a case? Why do you think this has happened? Why do you think it's transitioned to, do you think that it's because women have more power and, the men are leaving because they're basically being controlled and had enough? Or do you believe that, what do you believe? Why do you believe that there's so many single parent homes these days? What's the reason for that?
I mean, we've normalized adultery.
Mm-hmm.
We've normalized, my wife is a German woman. She's an evangelical Christian. And my family's mixed. I have Iranian Muslims, I have Jewish people from Jerusalem. I'm mixed, I have a mixed background. And, I look at what these three faiths have in common. Okay? Islam, Judaism, and Christianity. And that's adultery. Adultery is nothing that they make light of. Doesn't matter if you're a devout Muslim, Christian, or Jewish person. There is a high level of importance and magnitude on the idea that you do not cheat on your wife. Okay, now my grandfather had 3 wives in Iran. He was a Muslim. He had 3 Muslim wives, and he bought each of them a home. But if he was loyal to them under that construct, that could also work. Because in Iran, back then, many of the women weren't maybe able to take care of themselves. So a successful man who could take care of them, that worked for that society. I'm not saying I only have 1 wife, but I'm just saying it could work. But the idea of not cheating on your wife, the idea of being loyal to your wife and being able to take care of your wife, that's important. Now, in Hollywood, we've normalized pedophilia and homosexuality and being a transgender and cheating on your wife. We've completely destroyed God. There's nothing left. People talk about Hitler. People talk about Hitler. Hitler destroyed faith in Germany. Yeah, but what's the left doing? Yeah. Communism? I mean, what's going on here, man? What do you think?
To me, I've also noticed that masculinity is being ruined to the point where the women are committing the adultery too, because they've given up. Their men have given up on being a man, and they can't control their emotions, and they cry like babies, and they quit because they're listening to what they're hearing online from whatever source they may be listening to. So I believe that the women are searching for something more masculine, which is very hard to come by.
Yeah, you see women. Bro, I tell you, you're seeing women hit men. That's the level. That's how far we've gone. That a woman could hit and strike a man in his face. I mean, could you think a man that permits a woman to hit him? It's not even the physical harm. Now Karen might say to me, "Oh, well, she can't really hurt him." You destroyed him on the inside. There's nothing left.
Yeah.
If a woman, if you permit your wife, your girlfriend, to beat you when no one's watching, bro, you've already been destroyed. You're a dead man walking at that point.
Yeah.
She broke you in the strongest way possible. None of our ancestors permitted our women to beat us as men. We've normalized this, man. We've normalized being women. I mean, it's fucking crazy when you think about it, man. We've normalized.
Have you ever had an ex hit you, Nima?
I did. When I was a lot younger. I did.
What happened, bro? What happened?
Yeah, I dated a Viking, man. She was Norwegian. Fucking Norwegian, man. Big Norwegian. She was on television back in New York, man, and I was in love with her, you know. Tall, blonde, blue eyes. I was just like a little kid, you know. And she was 2 years older than me. And I was just intrigued by her, you know. And I remember she tried to hit me a few times. And I didn't have it in my gut to knock her out, you know, but I left that bitch, you know, but I'm just saying, but you know, I left her, man, because, you know, but I would say I remember that feeling of it destroyed me. And I left her, you know.
I've actually experienced it myself, Nima. I got punched once by a girl in the face. And
wow,
for me, that was it. It was done, bro. It was done. So I literally didn't hit her back. I looked at her, I said, "Is that the best you can do?" And I got my stuff and I left. After that, she went around saying that I had hit her. You know, not a mark on her. And so obviously I said, "What the fuck is bullshit?" I was the one who got hit. And guess who people believe? Of course. Like, not a mark on her, nothing like that, you know. Like, I've never hit a woman in my life because I have a mother and a sister, and if anyone put a hand on them, I'd be doing jail time. So I wouldn't do it myself. So, you know, but it seems that society is they're much more likely to believe what the woman says, like what the man's done, rather than what the woman's done to the man, because people can't seem to grasp that reality. But it's becoming more and more common, like you say. It's crazy.
You know, it's interesting that you say this, man. I dated a whore once who was a motivational speaker, and I found out the bitch cheated on me. Well, the day I found out, I knew she was speaking in a conference room of a Holiday Inn.
Nice.
So I drove up there, mad as heck. I burst into the conference room and screamed, "Jessica Martin is a bitch-ass cheating cunt, and the only good thing about her she's good for is her perfect tits." Then I realized I went to the wrong Holiday Inn.
No.
The specific conference room was hosting a feminist conference. I was arrested and jailed for many days. And that's actually Alpha King rule number 708. Loving your temper, losing your temper can always have repercussions. And that's actually an Alpha King rule that I have in this new book, How to Not Be a Bitch. Very good book with beautiful illustrations from professional artists from around.
Let's talk about this book, because I've heard a bit about this book, and obviously I've ordered one myself. Yeah. How did you come up with the idea to make this book? It's called How Not to Be a Bitch, right?
How to Not Be a Bitch. Yeah, exactly. It's literally the title of the book, How to Not Be a Bitch. It's going to come out on Amazon very soon, just doing the finishing touches here. And it's basically a book to teach men how to not be a bitch, how to regain your masculinity, how to not be a bitch. I mean, it's really...
It's that simple, right?
It's that simple, man. Just how to not be a bitch. You know, and when you read it, you'll understand there's lessons, there's Alpha King rules, just like the one I just did. There's a list of Alpha King rules, but there's also a deep dive analysis on self-improvement, how you can improve so you can never be a bitch, and just regaining, you know, your masculinity.
What's your stance on smacking children?
My thoughts. Well, as a Middle Eastern man, my dad's Iranian. So, you know, my dad told me once, I was always scared of my dad, you know, and he told me, he said, if you ever gamble in high school, I'm going to hit you. And I loved gambling when I was in high school, and I set up a casino, and I would invite kids to come over to the room. I found a hidden room. I'd close the door and I'd invite guys, and I was an addict. And eventually I got caught. I had a casino, I got caught. And I was so scared of my dad. And my dad, you know, we got in the car, he picked me up from school, and my dad, and he told me bend my head over, and then he spit on my head, and that actually hurt me more than if he would have.
He spat on your head. He spat on you.
Yeah, but because he was disappointed. That was
right.
That was one situation my dad didn't hit me, and that was the one situation that I remember even now.
But that's really harsh, right? That's really harsh, and it's like I don't necessarily think smacking your kids is the answer. But what I do think is the answer is, well, what I have noticed is 40, 50 years ago, it was the norm to smack your children. You know, they'd get their asses smacked, they'd be hit around the back of the head, they'd have their ears pulled, you know, hair pulled, whatever, you know? And people grew up to be respectful. They grew up to, you know, be people of their word. You know, people were much more disciplined. Nowadays, because I've noticed that you cannot discipline children in any way other than to speak to them lightly, or social services will be involved, they're all turning into little cunts. Like, you know, I can't really, where's the balance? There's no balance anymore. That's why these 15-year-old kids are running around with knives. There's no discipline. You know, there's nothing.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's in London, you guys have knives. In New York, we got guns. And it's people running around with guns. You know, back when I was in high school, guys would come around with box cutters. It was initiation on the subway, and they would run up on you and they would just slice your face, and that was a way to get initiation into the community. And you know, I remember guys that, you know, they're either in prison or they're dead. You know, now in New York. You know, and that's just, and I'm sure you know guys as well. So you know, I think tough neighborhoods in big cities are the same. I think London reminds me the most of New York City out of all the places in Europe. You know, I feel like I'm back in New York when I mean, Jordan Peterson is a grown man that cries more than my infant daughter.
Yeah, he's a
when TikTok is banning a guy like me, and about 800,000 followers, banned Tate's, banned a bunch of people, right? Banned my friend Pearl, you know, and then it's promoting homosexuality and pedophilia and tranny comedians like, let's just say, maybe Matt Rife. So cancel culture is something that is really, you know, it's prevalent. It permeates our whole culture. Cancel culture. You know, cancel culture is essentially just another word for censorship.
How's it going to end, though? Where's it all going to end up in the end? Because obviously you've got this tranny culture and this gay LGBTQ people attacking our kids and blah, blah, blah. But where's it all going to end up? Because eventually, surely, if 90% of these boys are now being transitioned to either be gay or bi or cutting their cocks off, where does it all stop, or where does it all end? Does everyone just become a tranny in the end, or what?
Shit, man. That's crazy. We're having this discussion, man.
Yeah, I think it's important. It's important, bro. We're talking about mankind here, Nima.
Yeah, I mean, you know. Well, I mean, I don't know if fucking the whole world becomes tranny. I mean, I'll never become a tranny, man. But it's crazy that the trannies have become so popular in culture, you know. I mean, many people, I would say many people have tried to call me a racist. Solely for the purpose of trying to cancel me. But that actually couldn't be further from the truth. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I had a girlfriend once, and she was from India. And I used to call her my little Indian giver because she would give me head whenever I asked.
Nice.
Yeah. Call me racist now, Karen.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's Alpha King rule number 701, which is racist. Racism is for ignorant bigots. No piece of pussy is too dark for a true alpha. And that's a snippet from this book, How to Not Be a Bitch.
I'm most certainly going to buy the book. Nima, I'm most certainly going to buy the book. Yeah. I'm going to let you go because I'm going to end the show soon, but I'm going to talk quickly about the real world to some of the guys we've got online here because, bro, I've heard some mad things this week about the real world, which I need to let people know. But it's been great to have you, bro.
Thanks for having me.
I'll be buying your book. Guys, if you go and buy Nima's book, I totally recommend it. And Nima, I'll speak to you soon, bro. Good to see you.
Thank you, Rory. Thank you for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Go on, brother. See you soon. Bye, mate. Bye, bye, bye. Well, guys, that was Nima, legend in the game. Obviously, we have very similar views on things. So he's a very controversial man. I like that about him as well. He's a character. So yeah, go buy Nima's book. Real nice guy. Now I'd like to talk to you about some things that I've experienced this week. The real world is popping off. Since the purchase of university.com, we are seeing more students pile in than ever. I know that the people just, they're flooding in, and the reviews are becoming more and more positive. It seems that more and more young lads and girls as well are making more and more money online. And I've also seen the crypto pump that's happening at the minute. How many people made money on that? You know, I've seen on X numbers and numbers of these kids making money from investing in the crypto pumps with Bitcoin and everything else, and they're following the professor's advice. And I'll be honest, I missed it. I didn't invest myself. I missed it. So, but I won't be missing the next one, which is crazy because that means that the real world's benefiting me too. You know, so I'm technically a student because I should have learnt before to invest in that and make my money, but I didn't. I was ignorant. Why was I ignorant? I don't know. Maybe I was too busy ordering pizza on Tristan's card and, you know, thinking I was Joe Smooth, but obviously not because I missed that. But I won't be missing it next time, which goes to show it doesn't matter what age you are. We're all constantly learning. So if you haven't got into university.com and signed up for Hustlers University, you're crazy right now, because if you're just delaying success, which I've seen from so many people. Like, I can't get my head around it. Like, it's $50 a month, you know, and these people are just, they're making so much money back from these crypto pumps and, you know, these, even fitness. They've got fitness on there. People are paying $50 a month to have an online PT when they can have an online PT in Hustlers University and all these courses on top. Rory, are you going to buy the carbon credits? I mean, I'm going to do what my professor tells me to do. So if the professor's telling me to buy carbon credits, I'll buy carbon credits. It's $80 a month in Canada. I don't know what country has what tariff. Sorry, where I'm from is $49.99 a month in American dollars. Guys, any more questions before we wrap this up? Let's have a look. My grandma says that this woke-up culture is a fashion and will disappear in a few years. Lucas, I'd like to think your grandmother was right. However, I don't know, the way things are going, bro, it's not looking good. It's not looking good in that sense. Like, you know, more and more masculinity is getting banned, and more of the narrative of demasculating men is becoming promoted. So I don't know how that's going to turn around. I'll be honest, it's a massive worry. But, you know, who knows? We could have a world war before then if what's going on keeps escalating. Who knows? Everyone will be fucked. What is it like to spar someone like Tate or Tristan? It's very humbling sometimes. You know, I've sparred them for a long time. You have to remember, I've known Andrew and Tristan since I was young, since I was 18. I sparred Andrew when he was fighting for his world title fights. And yeah, Andrew's a phenomenal athlete. So yeah, it's very humbling experience to fight with Andrew. But I'll be honest, whenever I've trained with Andrew and Tristan, I've always been at my peak performance. Because if you spar people who are worse than you, you're never going to get any better. So it's always good that if you're an up-and-coming fighter, to try and fight people who are better than you, because that's the only way you get better. You know, you don't get better by fighting people who are on your level or below. You have to go above. You have to learn the lessons to get better. And unfortunately, some of them lessons are sometimes painful. Can I iron all your shirts? Alexandra, if you want to come to Dubai and iron all my shirts, you're more than welcome. How's your ironing skills going, Roy? Yeah, do you know what? I don't actually want to talk about it because I had a really nice shirt for tonight and I burnt it on the iron, which some of you know from my Instagram story. So if you don't follow my Instagram, go on and follow @HighProspects. Yeah, and you can catch me there. Where is Roron? Funny you say that. That is from which Georgiana? Where Where is Raw? I'm going to need a few more pints. Unfortunately, this episode's called 2 Pints because I don't think it's suitable for Raw. He'd do something absolutely outrageous and I'd probably end up on the news. In this world, how can we create the brotherhood you have? I think that goes back to something important that Nima said. Hang around with masculine men. Hang around, with guys who would have your back. And you have to be a man of your word yourself. Be a man of your word. Have your balls and your word. And you'll go far in life because not a lot of people have their word these days. Everyone's a fucking snake. And I think social media has influenced people to be like that. But yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame the world's going where it's going. I really hope that love will conquer all and the world will fix itself in time. Did you add those plants in the background? No, that was the cousin of Tristan. He did that because he believes that plants in the room improve the air quality, and he's a man who told me of numbers, and he reads the number on the screen for the quality of the air. He has like this air thing, I don't know what is it, let's call it an aerometer, and he has a look at the number on it, and yeah, he tries to increase the quality of the air in the room. But there's several plants in this room. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've counted 8 and I haven't even looked around properly yet. So yeah, you got Luke to blame for that. Hello G, I don't know if you knew me. Anyway, what's the best skill to make money? I've just told you. Joinuniversity.com, which is Hustlers University now, and learn a skill and monetize it the best that you can. That is the best way for any young man looking for a side hustle or to make money in this day and age. It's certainly the best one that I've seen. And I mean, I've seen people making anything from $100 a month, so they get their subscription and $50 back. This is outrageous. $1 million a month, which was made by a young lady. I don't know how she done it, but I know that it's the truth because I found out for myself that it's true. And yeah, so that's the best way to make money. You obviously have to work very hard to make big figures, but the ones that are making big figures work hard, and I wish them all the best, and I hope they make enough to retire themselves and their families. Do you like to edit a new video? If you want to edit a video for me, edit one. Hold on a minute. What's Georgiana saying? I can't read the comment. Hold on one sec. Who do you like more and why? Out of who, Georgiana? Out of who? Who do you like more and why? Georgiana, who are we talking about here? I think obviously everyone knows who Georgiana is. If you don't recognize, Georgiana is an OG. Me and Georgiana have a war on X or Twitter or whatever you call it. But Georgiana is very special to me. She's a good friend of mine. And I hope she gets the right justice too, because Georgiana's basically a family friend. Who do I like more out of our family? All right, Georgiana, you're my favorite, Georgiana. You're the best. You're my favorite witch of the Wicked West. I miss you throwing coffee at me. I miss you calling me names. I miss throwing you in the pool. And you know what? I haven't seen you in a while. So when this case is over, I'll come and see you. We could terrorize each other a bit more and we could be friends again. But Tristan's definitely your best friend. Tristan's definitely, yeah, Tristan's my best friend. I love Andrew the same, but we have different relationships. Andrew's like an older brother to me. Andrew tells me what I don't want to hear. And Tristan likes to enjoy life with me and drink whiskey and have, drunk straighteners. So yeah, it's different relationships. Guys, I want to thank you for tuning in. We've been live for over an hour now. I've had a great episode, a great chat with Nima. It's good to see you guys. And do I have a YouTube channel? No, I don't. I don't go on YouTube because they're just going to cancel me. I stay on Rumble. I'm exclusive to Rumble. Guys, it's been a great night. Thanks for listening to episode 7 of 2 Pints with Rory. Hopefully I'll see you guys in a few days and we'll do it all again. We'll have some fun. Thank you very much, guys. Have a great night.